Hello, everyone, and thank you for coming to the weekly live for relationship communications. Welcome to this week's weekly live. I'm thrilled that you're here with me. And for those of you joining us for the first time, I'm Lisa DeToffol, and I'm the founder of Relationship Communications. It's my online community where I work with established and aspiring entrepreneurs. And today I'm going to be your host for Relationship Communications Weekly Live, which is my weekly live stream show that airs every Friday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. My goal here is to share tactical and practical information to help you get where you want to go faster than you can get on your own. I've been an entrepreneur for over 7 years. I've made many mistakes, and I'm here to tell you I can help you move through them more quickly by sharing what I've learned through my experiences. So let me know if you're here joining me live. Say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. We are streaming on various different platforms. So again, thank you for joining me. And if you are watching over on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so that you can be notified every time that we do go live. So today's topic is mindset shifts for networking. This is a big thing, especially for those of us that may have networking as one of our goals for 2026, right? But before we dive into our topic today, let me introduce myself. I was a preschool teacher back in 2017, and 25 years prior to that, I had dreamed of working from home. But I had been through 2 messy divorces and been a single mom twice, and it just didn't seem possible at that time. And I was the breadwinner for my family and household, and kind of scared to take that chance or take that step to go out and do anything on my own. But then in 2012, a few things changed, and that is when I could see the possibility of my dreams coming true. However, it was not an easy task. So with the support of my family, I started a training program to learn how to be a virtual assistant in 2018. Which showed me also how to start my own business. By the end of that program, I had a couple of clients and have continued to grow my business, and now the Tiger Eye Solution team that was established in 2021 every single year. So my life looks a whole lot different than it did back then. My kids, my grandkids, everybody keeps me on my toes. So if you have a story, maybe you're an entrepreneur now and you haven't always been an entrepreneur, share your story with us in the comments under this video. I would love to hear that, okay? So let's dive into mindset shifts for networking, okay? So relationship marketing, or sprinkling as I like to call it, is basically telling everyone you know what you do. Telling them about your business. I've started a business and I do XYZ, blah, 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 whatever that is, right? So let's dive into this. As a professional, you likely heard that you need to spread the word about your business to be successful. And that is true. And networking is a great way to do that. And that is also true. Before learning, good rules of thumb around networking, this was my experience. There's a lot of noise. There's a lot of people. People are making small talk. I don't know how to make small talk. I'm an introvert. And I'm terrible at it, and I don't like to sell. So what I normally did was I showed up to talk to one person, maybe the person that invited me or a person I see that I know. And I would chit chat with that person. Or maybe the person at the welcome desk, when I come in. Then I would go to the ladies' room and kind of hide, so to speak. And at the end of the meeting, I would try to get out of there as fast as possible. And that was my experience of networking in the very beginning. But I knew I had to shift my mindset, because if I didn't, I was not going to have a successful business. But I wanted to do it in a way that was not going to feel icky, salesy, or scary. So for those of you that think it feels icky to network, I'm here to tell you that you can take the ick out of it. Just don't be icky, okay? Don't be the thing you don't want to be. Don't be spammy. Just don't be all those things that you think networking is. And I'm going to tell you how to not be all those things. Okay. This is what I want you to know. So this is kind of an overview of networking, if you will. You dress in professional clothes. You enter the event. You look around in the room and you realize you don't know anyone. And you are like, oh no. So you're standing there and you feel stupid. So maybe you talk to a couple of people. And how many of you have done this? I've done it. I'm just as guilty as the next person. I promise I have done this. And you walk into the networking event and there is a group of people you kind of stand in a circle with, and they don't speak to you, or they don't open the circle and let you in. And you're like, oh my goodness, they're not talking to me. And your brain is going crazy and you're thinking, what am I even doing here? Do I even want to have my own business? This is crazy. I'm good at what I do. What I do, why do I have to do this? This is stupid. I just want to go home and do my work. Right? Okay, so how many of you have felt this way? So you go and you get in your car and you feel like you failed. You feel like you didn't tell anyone what you do. Nobody has tried to work with you or hire you, which is a big mindset shift we're going to make today, okay? And you just think, I don't have what it takes. So if that is what networking is like for you, we're going to shift that, okay? What I want to tell you is what networking actually is. Because a lot of people have notions, like they come up with their own definitions or whatever about what networking is. And you think it's selling. You think it's convincing people to work with you. You think it's spammy. You think it's getting in people's faces, right? It's not any of those things. So I want to talk about what networking really is. Networking is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. I'm going to say that again, okay? Networking is the action or process of interacting with others to exchange information and develop professional or social contacts. So take that all in for just a minute, okay? It's talking to people to exchange information. So when people are at networking events, they don't want to be sold to. You don't want to be sold to, right? Sometimes people do that at networking events, which make things a little uncomfortable, right? But that doesn't mean you have to do that. And what you're trying to do is exchange information. That means just tell people what you do to develop personal or social contacts. Start building those relationships, right? So basically, you're at the event to talk about what you do, to meet people, and to make friends. Professional friends, okay? That's it. That is it. That's the only reason you're at that networking event. And some of my closest friends I have met at networking events. Some of my best clients I have met at networking events. Some of my team members I have met at networking events. So what you have to do is completely take the pressure off and remove all the stress that you're attaching to networking. Okay? When you remove all the pressure and tell yourself, I'm here, I'm going to meet some people, I'm going to tell them what I do and listen to what they do and have no expectations of being hired or actually working with them. And I have no expectations of anything, of anyone wanting anything from me or them thinking I want something from them. It's a very neutral situation, right? So you have to take the emotion out of it. And if someone is looking at you across the room, I want you to think, this sweater must really be great on me because someone is checking me out. Instead of, oh no, this is the wrong color. That's all in your head. And the other thing we do is when we listen to someone else talking, and if they are, prepared for the event, they probably sound impressive. And I'm going to give you what you need to sound impressive. And you might think or compare yourself to them and put yourself down. You need to knock all that off, because people are people. We kind of like mingling with the general public, and there is going to be all these different kinds of people, right? And we will talk about that more in a minute. The thing that all the scripts that are in your head, they're telling you how terrible this is. You need to stop. Just stop them and put something else in there. And you're going to have to practice this. It's not a one and done thing, okay? But I do want you to take the pressure off. Take the stress out of it, okay? Here's the thing. You might need to visit many networking events before you find one you like. And that's okay. One that resonates with you. And I have been to so many. Most of the groups were not my people that I was specifically looking for. There were other entrepreneurs that I could talk to about my business. And they talked to me about their business. And we can bounce ideas off each other and create a relationship. I go to meetings on a very regular basis, in person and online. And I have networked with so many different types of groups. And if I have an idea, I speak to them about it. They have an idea, they speak to me about it, right? And so I don't set, myself up to fail when I go to an event. I get excited to be able to go when I am available to go. And I get excited to talk to my professional friends who I already know because I've been to this same event before, or I've been to events with these same people. And I'm excited to meet at least one or two new people that may be at the event. Okay? So when we meet people at networking events, we can actually help each other. Maybe do a camaraderie. Do something, a joint venture, do something together. So if you go and you don't like the people, go to another one. It's no big deal, right? Okay, you wasted 2 hours. It's not even a waste because you practiced talking about what you do. You picked out professional clothes. So don't sweat it, okay? I have been to so many groups where I thought I should have stayed at home. This group is definitely not for me. But the truth is, I just crossed that group off my list. This group doesn't work for me. And then I went to a different one the next time. Right? I walk into a group and I look around the room and I say, wow, these women are impressive. If it's a group of just women. And of course, the imposter syndrome kicks in and says, you should not be here. Then I'm like, yeah, I should be here. And then I meet one or two people at that specific event, maybe that I didn't know, because I'm naturally not a talker. And then I went back the next time and the next time. Oh, that woman's kind of cool. And she seems really friendly. She seems approachable. Right? And I met 2 or 3 more people. And then I really pulled myself together, and I'm going to ask them to meet for coffee. We can have a one-on-one coffee chat in person. If this is an in-person event that I attended and I'm meeting them in person, then I'm going to invite them to an in-person coffee chat. Right? And then I get to add those women to my circle, to my network. Right? And they support me and I support them. And they tell other people about me. And I'm telling other people about them. We're using that natural quality that human beings have, which is helping each other out. But everybody doesn't help everybody. But when you find your people, your group, it's really great. Right? And then you can start to attend these same meetings over and over. You walk in the room, either virtually or in person, whichever the case may be for you. And they say, oh, Lisa, how are you doing? They know you by name by this point, right? Someone comes over and says, someone told me about you. Can we talk? You just made a new friend and possibly might be getting a new client. Because one of your other networking friends has already recommended you to this person. You're just now meeting this person and they want to talk about whatever it is they learned about you. So they may want to work with you, right? So if you take all the emotion, the pressure, and the selling away, just think about it. Like a busy cocktail party without the cocktails. It's a lot more relaxing, right? Or like a social. You're more comfortable, but you're talking about business. It's really meant to be like that. And it's not always like that because the world isn't perfect. But it is out there. And I found it many, many times, but also many, many times found groups that wasn't for me. They wasn't a right fit for me. So don't let it get under your skin or anything like that. Like, come home and say, oh, wow, I don't think I really like that group, but maybe I'll go back one more time. But that really didn't feel right. Maybe I'll check it out one more time and just see if I feel the same way the next time I go. And then you keep looking for other groups, right? But like I said, it's not a one and done. You've got to continue to attend networking events and say, okay, I networked. It doesn't work like that. So go find some professional friends. Go find some business friends and hang out with them. That's what networking is. You're going to a networking event, but you're just hanging out with some business friends is what you're doing. And you're having different types of conversations, right? Now, have I gained a client through all the different networking groups I've been a part of? No. But I've still built some great relationships with business friends who refer me to others that may be looking for what it is I provide. Here's something you have to do. You have to be able to talk about your work or what you do in a clear and simple way. Because if you show up and someone asks, what do you do? And you just start talking and talking and talking and talking, they're not going to know what you're talking about. They're not going to have a clue. There's a ton of information about this in the Networking Method Launchpad, which I'll be doing again probably in a couple months. I just did it back in January. So stay tuned to learn more of when I'll be doing the Launchpad again. But in summary, shift your mindset around networking, okay? It's not personal. There will most likely be people at networking events that are annoying to you. I promise. Just don't let them get under your skin. Take a step in the right direction towards this today. Okay? If you have questions about anything that I shared today around networking, please send me a private message and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you. Also, would like to invite you, if you're not a part of the Relationship Communications Facebook group, head on over to Facebook and join us. It is a networking community. Introduce yourself, let us know who you are, and tell us exactly what it is that you do. We'd love to hear that. And then you could start scheduling one-on-one coffee chats with myself and others that are a part of that community. So I also want to invite you to our next networking mixer. Relationship Communications does a once-a-month networking mixer. And our next one is February 25th at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope you'll add that to your calendar and make plans to join us and come network with some people in our community. It's a great place to learn how to do the networking that I just got through talking about, right? So again, if you're here, say hello. Let me know where you're coming in from. If you're watching this later, do use #replay. Let me know that you're watching this later. And if you have any type of questions, just reach out. Hope everyone has a wonderful rest of your Friday and a great weekend. See you again soon.